Hello, everyone. Welcome to 180 Degrees of Impact. I'm Matt Scott, and I'm very thankful to be joined here by Anita Kirkovska, who, did I say that the right way, Anita?
Yeah,
Perfect.
it sounds good.
So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Actually, it's Saturday, so we are doing this cool interview, and it is with you, and I've had so much interesting time with you at Space Apps, so could this get any better?
Yeah, you mentioned space apps, and we had a great time at the Space Apps
Yeah.
Show. And actually, we haven't spoken about that, but for those who don't know, so Space Apps is a global hackathon. And I don't think I've mentioned this to you yet, but we had 25,000 total participants in 186 cities. And it was just amazing to see the impact globally. You, of course, were in Silicon Valley as one of the co-leads. But before we even talk about space apps, it would be amazing, considering the many, many things you do, if you could explain, who is it that you are, what are you up to, and what do you do when people ask you about your work?
Okay, first, thanks for the introduction. As you said, my name is Anita Kirkovska. I'm actually a recent computer science graduate and all-time space nerd, as you already know. I'm living in Macedonia, and I have been working here for 5 years now regarding the space apps and also regarding the startup community and the many of the opportunities for the student organization and students here in Macedonia. In the moment, I'm working as a growth hacker in a tech startup here in Macedonia, where I get the chance to combine my knowledge in the technology sector, but also to combine it with my marketing skills and also the business knowledge that I got by working in the accelerator before joining this tech startup. So besides that, as you mentioned, besides all of the things, I'm also in my free time, as I can get a free time. So yeah, in the free time, I'm working on a data-driven tool, which is a tool for student career prospects improvement. It is called Moxie, and we are doing it here in this community. It's mostly between students, but also another institutions like incubators, accelerators, educational institutions, and everyone that are somehow involved in that scene are being part of this. And we are trying to build environment for students to experiment more. For example, if they're studying computer science, they aren't just so familiar with the business and marketing part of building a product. So we're trying to match them between faculties, so they could just get a glimpse of what is it of doing a startup or placing its product on the market. So yeah, I'm trying to just combine all the things that I'm interested about. So by working in an accelerator and doing the space apps, I have get to a point where I just saw the opportunities of the community and of people like trying to get other people to join their idea and join their startup, and the difficulties that they get on that way of doing it. So I just try to get between that. So in tech startup, I'm growth hacking it regarding the talents that we are trying to bring in the startup that is also part of the community. And with Moxie, I'm trying to help youngsters to find their ideal career path, for example. Yeah.
Wow, that's okay. This is one reason why I thought I definitely needed to talk with you and include you in 180 Degrees of Impact, because you have so much going on. Like, you are co-lead of Space Apps, and I don't even think at the time I realized like the million things that you were doing. But I think it's so powerful because it's not just that you're doing a lot, but that it's all very consistent. For instance, growth hacking and supporting students through Moxie and supporting startups. It's all really, it's powerful for me to see how you are supporting people and trying to lift other people up through your work. Could you explain to me what exactly is growth hacking?
Okay, so growth hacking is actually a modern word. It's a buzzword for marketing combined with growth. And it's applicable mostly for startups, mostly since it is a way of growth hacking your way into building more customers, more people engaged in your startup by using the minimum of resources for marketing. Marketing costs can be pretty high and startups cannot afford them in the most of the time. So in growth hacking scene, we're trying to hack our way into building more engagement, more users in the database. It is different for startups that are building, for example, products that needs users for example, minimum stage for seek for investments. And it's different within our tech startup because we are working with UK and US companies that are searching for developers. So it's basically outsourcing, but we're trying to build another business model that is called outstaffing. And this model offers them to have employee on a distant location, and we are working with them. We are offering their working environment and everything, and they just work directly with their employees. It is in a way remote working for them, but we are covering all the things here in Macedonia. And it's different, the growth hacking for this part, because we are not actually working on a particular product, but we also want to experiment in that area as well. But for now, we are working on a growth hacking techniques, how to bring clients to come to Macedonia, to come to work with Macedonian developers, and on the other hand, to offer developers here in Macedonia the opportunity to work with UK and US startups and companies as well. So to gather wider experience and to get a glimpse of what is going on in the developed countries, because we are still country in development. So the growth hacking that I get to do here is to motivate developers, to bring them in a community, to raise awareness of how they should be working and how their work should be appreciated here as well. So yeah, it is in that way. Did you understand the point of growth hacking?
No, I definitely do, and I'm fascinated because I see all that passion for growth hacking, but more for supporting the community, whether it's the community of developers or of students. Where did that passion come from? When did you first realize that you had a passion for supporting people in your community, especially in terms of their business and their tech and ambitions?
So actually, I think that it goes way back to my first year at university, because actually my first year of university was I was really stressed because I came from economic high school and I get to go into the technical area. So I was pretty much scared of learning all those tech stuff, which were different from the economic things that I was studying before. So the first year I was pretty much focused on my studying, and the first challenge in my educational part of my life was to work down those exams and everything. And since the first year finished, I've reached a moment where I knew that I finished the challenge for myself, and I just feel like I was needing another challenge. And at that time, I got involved in a student organization at my faculty, and actually it happened so naturally. And because of that fact, I just knew that I wasn't doing the events just because someone needed it, but because I just felt within my environment and within my colleagues group that we needed all those stuff. And because it came so naturally, I knew that I need to do it. So I just did the first event on my faculty. It was called Digit, and it was an event for graphic and 3D modeling for students from the tech campus. And we actually had 60 students attending that, and it was pretty great. We merged the student with the tech sector. And at that time also Macedonia was as I mentioned, we are still developing country. At that time, Macedonia was still having, my faculty was the new faculty, like for internet technologies, and the faculty itself tried to offer best standards for students, to offer like the opportunity to work in one's globalization. So we tried to be part of that and to offer students some practical knowledge outside the classroom. And after that, I get to be the organizer for job fair. It was amongst the biggest job fair at that time. We brought like 35 IT companies and startups on one place on the technical campus, and more than 4,000 students visited the campus. And after that, and you can see that all those events like show you different views of how students are approaching learning, of how students are approaching practical learning as well, because there's still a situation here where people, it's not particularly present on the technical campus, but on the other campuses like economics or other areas, they're just learning from books, and they're just not practicing the things that they're learning. So you can see the pattern of how we, and I personally, can help other students to achieve what they want outside the classroom. So after the job fair, since it was, I can say without a shame, it was pretty successful event. And after that, I got to know people who were bringing space apps in Macedonia. And after that, I got involved in an accelerator from which we organized the space apps. And the space apps was, wow. I mean, it was the event where all the student organization from Macedonia, not just from Skopje, it was organized in Skopje, but all student organizations from the whole country were participating as organizers. And we split the responsibilities. For example, I was always like put to be responsible for the fundraising part, because I just like felt naturally to like speak with companies and like motivate them to join us. And so we split the responsibilities. And the first event, I think we are organizing five years until now, the space apps. And the first event, I think that it was the top notch of all the 5 events. And I mean, after the events that I have done while being at college and while being involved in the accelerator, just showed me the path and the way how students need to be part of a community where they can share their issues. For example, I don't want to say issues, but challenges in a way, because they have challenges and they have the power to like not fix them, but to work with others to achieve great results. Mm-hmm. And after Space Apps, so this was the 2012, after Space Apps, we gathered again, like the student organization, but just ourselves, to organize an event in Ohrid. This is another city in Macedonia, for 400 students from the tech campus, but again, not only Skopje, but whole country Macedonia. And we also tried to make it look like regionally, because we brought some people from Serbia and Croatia as well, but it was not in a way like fully regional event. And here we tried to combine sports activities, IT competition related themes, for example, mobile, backend, frontend, and also the accelerator where I was involved, to bring the business aspect of how IT students should look in their career lives. So this was, I think, the best event that we have done here in Macedonia. And again, what more to say? Like, doing these events like brings you the viewpoint of how you need to interact with students, and also to bring the tech industry more closer to the universities. So yeah.
I'm really curious about a lot of that. I'm really curious specifically though, who were some of the key people along the way that you met? Like, I know, of course, you met Irina and worked on space apps together, but could you tell me some more about who were some of those key people on your journey who helped get you involved or helped like push these projects forward?
Yeah, I became motivated mostly by being active in the community. Uh, but the birthing phase of my career started at the university, where the professors there were like new in their profession. They were assistants before and now professors, and they were pretty much young, so they just knew how to interact with our generations, the millennials. So I've got the biggest support from them. I had the mentor for my thesis as well for Moxie. um, his name is Vladimir Strajkovic. He was like supporting me along the way, also in the accelerator and also for the Moxie project. The dean of the faculty, he is I don't know, the person that I look up the most, because he was here like all the time for me, just to advise me and to connect me with, because he was like working with the IT sector, and the projects, the ideas that we implemented together were important steps in my career. Irina, as you mentioned, like she was bringing the Space Apps initiative in Macedonia, and she connected me afterwards, after the job fair, to join the initiative for the accelerator as well, for the Space Apps as well. And from then, like for the Space Apps, we did so like amazing stuff for the community here, and not only for the space enthusiasts, but also for the tech people, because just being involved in an initiative that mentions NASA and NASA open data, it's like so wonderful to join. And also from the student organization that I've mentioned, from the start we were supporting each other, and that is why I always like to say that you need to find a mentor, but not to always agree with him, but to disagree with him as well, but just to have the communication ongoing. But also the people that you're working on, and especially your colleagues, you need to support each other, and at that time when we started to organize these events, and it was not the case before, because we weren't like used to having an events like that. And we had like higher risk of doing it, because we didn't know how the students will interact, and we knew how to support each other and the advice, because I was second years of studying. There were people like the president of the student organization was the fourth year of studies, so he had more experience, and the advices that I get, like just for interacting in that student organization, was so useful. So yeah, it brought tons of motivations, like to get more involved in the tech area, in the tech sector, in the community, to bring back also, because I have like gone through that way. And now, because I'm recent graduate, I want to bring back to the community, and that is why Moxie was formed. And all those people that I've mentioned, most of them are involved in Moxie, since, I mean, we had the same journey in that path, combining educational challenges and also startup culture in Macedonia.
Yeah, and I think I definitely want to learn more about Moxie, and I'll ask about that in a few minutes. But first, I know you mentioned when you said that it's important to support your team and to work together collaboratively on these projects. Like, I immediately thought of your work on Space Apps this year. Of course, you've had tons of projects that you've worked on and that you're working on now, and you had lots of experience with Space Apps. But I'm curious what it was like for you to be all of a sudden in 2017 one of the co-leads of not just a NASA Space Apps Challenge event and not just the Silicon Valley event, but like of one of the two global main stages of the event. What did that feel like, and what were some of the lessons that you learned from that experience?
The experience, I mean, I think that we have talked about this already previously. The experience was amazing in so many ways. First, I need to mention that me being in Silicon Valley this year was a result of doing amazing job here in Macedonia the first year. The second year, we tried to promote this event in all the region, the central and eastern part of Europe. And we had teams that won the global prizes. And since then, so last year we were also organizers in San Francisco. And when I was first offered the opportunity to be organizing there, I was just, I don't know, I was just feeling, okay, Anita, you're going from Macedonia in South San Francisco to organize an event in a place that you're not resident in and with people you don't know. So you will need to like work more fast in that way, because, you know, the events that I've organized here, I know the people, I know the community here, and I know like in most of the way how things are working. But for St. Francis, it wasn't my first time going there, but it was my first time doing something there for the community. I needed to just observe the things that students are like having a challenge with, like I have observed in Macedonia. And there are many differences in so many ways, because Silicon Valley is like the center of the startup culture and the tech center of the whole world. And I knew that the communication that I would have there should be a little different. But you have read my last Medium blog post. I have outlined there the Silicon Valley practices, but also the Balkan mindset that we have from this side of the earth. Because for this year, for example, I have learned that the hustle that one should make towards building an event, building the engagement, the growth hacking techniques that I have used also for this event to bring as much as people to this event were so like useful for me, and it was result from my previous activities here. It is very much different in so many ways, as I mentioned, but it is similar in so many ways as well, because we are all people. And in the first place, when I was going to the Silicon Valley, I just thought like, oh my God, these people are scary. These people are doing so many amazing things, and I'm coming from here. How they are going to like look at me? How am I going to like start a conversation with them? You know, but so it seems that we are all people. We have all same, like, not opinions, but thinking and how we move forward in our career and in life, and especially how we go throughout our educational process in life. So by being, you know, close to the people and like having that mindset of collaborating with them and offering them a value to participate in an event like it's Space Apps, to have the opportunity to work with the open data sets that NASA is offering for all the 48 hours of the hackathon, they were all just amazed. And I was so motivated by the community in Silicon Valley, especially this year, that because the first week I was living in a co-op where people from NASA were living there, and also people that are working with space startups and everything. And what they did is like, even for breakfast, they were like eating together on a table, and they were discussing the things that they did the previous day and how they did at work and what is new in the space sector. And that was so motivating for me. It is a change of mindset, you know, because the community here, we are trying to build it. And that point of having the experience of living in a co-op brings you to another level, how to like move forward here and how to transfer those experiences here. And also the support that I have got from NASA communities as well. It was pretty much amazing. We need here to work more towards that. So that was the second lesson. The third lesson, it is combined with the hustle and the people that I've met there. It is like combination of the first one and the second one, because all those people that you and I have met on the space conference the first day, they were just not being asked to communicate with our participants, but they were doing that by their own will, because they just knew that you just cannot know from where the opportunities might come.
Right.
And I sincerely didn't ask our speakers to go and talk with our participants. They just went along and asked, do you need my help? Do you need some support for your project or everything? And that was pretty cool. And I really think that we in Macedonia are moving towards accomplishing that part in our community. And I think that we're doing a great job. And probably in the next year, I don't know, I cannot just like say how many years, but I think that we will reach that level of community and engagement and seeing opportunities on different places like Silicon Valley does.
think it's so interesting to see how much I feel like one thing I'm so amazed by when it comes to you is just how much you soak in like a sponge, all of the things going on. Like you mentioned, I remember in the Medium blog post that you wrote, you mentioned the Balkan mindset versus the Silicon Valley mindset. You were talking about getting into the Facebook conference. You're talking about meeting the co-founder of Apple. And so it shows how important that hustle is when it comes to making an impact or just getting anything done in general. I think that's really important to learn.
And the persistence is the most valuable part of whatever like you do in life. So the building part of SpaceX in the Silicon Valley from organizers who are not residents in the California part or US, we are not residents in US. So doing that takes a lot of courage in the first place, and a lot of persistence and belief in the goal that we are trying to achieve. Every part of the journey of doing the SpaceX in Macedonia and also in the Silicon Valley, I knew that I could do it. I didn't have like opinions, what if this goes wrong or this goes like the other way. I just knew it that I was capable of doing it. And I just knew that if I were persistent, that I will reach up to my goals. And for me, it is the only goal. I don't see life or adversities in life or some difficulties in life as a setback. I often see them as an opportunity to reach something more, to learn from it. Even if if I fail, I will learn from it and I will do it better next time. If I don't fail, I wouldn't know what is the right or wrong thing to do. So yeah, it is the only way, to be persistent and to know what you like to do, to know what is right for you.
That's a great lesson to have. And I think that I'm really curious how, just to transition this into one of my last questions, what is it that, you're taking all of these lessons, how are you applying them to the work that you're doing with Moxie? Because I really want to learn a little bit more about that. And I'd love to talk a little bit more about what is Moxie and what are the goals of that project.
Okay, so Moxie was my graduate thesis. And it is meant to be a data-driven tool, but in order to become data-driven tool, we need to collect all those data from students being part of this tool. And the first phase that we are working on right now, and we are testing it, we are still in the prototyping model of it, we are testing it. We are trying to engage for the first phase 100 students to just be part of a tool where they will share their initiative or their ideas. And it's not just startup ideas, but it also, there are ideas like organizing an exhibition or doing a photography lessons or painting lessons, everything that people often want to do, but don't find the time to do it. And they don't know whether they will like it or not. And the thing is that I truly want to offer students a way to express themselves in a way that they cannot do in the universities or in the classroom. And for now, we have students from the technical campus connecting with students from the economy campus, and they're trying to combine their skills. And this is the goal of Moxie, for people to know who they can reach to. Because from my experience in the startup community, it was the investments that we didn't have here for products that we were building. But right now, the main challenge is to find people to work with. And if you don't start earlier in your life, before you graduate, you cannot know the possibility of you engaging with people who maybe share your same values, same goals. They want to build the same product as you want to, but you don't know. You cannot know if you cannot have the opportunity to engage in the community. So I see it in a way of an online space, like bulletin board, where they can just show their initiative. Okay, I want to do this. I want to make exhibition of my photos that I just do it like my hobby, but I don't know how to promote my event. I want to build a website for my exhibition, and I don't know how to do that. Can anyone help me? So it is a way of reaching out to people. And it is reverse how I did it with Moxie, because I have published also a blog post for Moxie and how I use growth hacking and also design thinking. Design thinking, it was like the best model for me to like test the idea and work through the idea, because often people who are building products, they think that they know what their users want to see, but if you don't just test it, like it is so different. The users want different things from you, and you just need to test it. And I was testing it, and I was calling people to join the initiative, and I was surprised how many people just were amazed from the whole idea and how they had the same goals towards it. And it came also from people that I didn't know and that I knew before on my previous projects, but I didn't know that they were inspired to like make an impact in the educational sector. So the thing how Moxie became to be combination of people working together, I want the same method to be applicable for all other projects or ideas or initiatives. So that is why I say it is a recursive project.
I think that it's really cool to see. It's really, really cool to see. Like it's kind of funny for me. So you've all these things, like you're juggling so many different things, but it's like they're all related somehow. And that's one thing that's so inspirational to me, how it all ties together around like hustling and around collaboration and around helping people accomplish more with their work. I'm really curious, as my final question, my favorite question, if your life story were a book or a documentary, what would the title of that book or documentary be, and why? And let's assume this is going to happen, because I'm sure there will be a book or a documentary either by you or written about you. So what would that title be?
Oh, that's a nice thing to say. Thank you. So the title of a book of my life story. When I think of this, maybe I would say it will be something with the title of combining divergent thinking, because everything that I do in life, and as you mentioned in the beginning, I try to like work through different things. It's because I'm interested in doing lots of things, and I just try to find the middle point of combining all those things to like have a profession that will like also combine, but it will work for me. And that is why I came into working growth hacking, because it combines my technical knowledge, marketing, business, interacting with people, communities, and everything. So yeah, the divergent thinking, I think it's the most appropriate title, but we'll see. I maybe will change my mind because I'm divergent in like character. So yeah. Do you think it would be a good title, divergent thinking?
Yeah, no, that's a good title, and it's a good point also that you might diverge from that title initially. It's a little bit of a meta, like Inception.
Matrix.
But
Yeah.
what were we about to say?
Matrix. It's like a matrix.
Oh yeah, it is. But I mean, as long as you could keep up with it, that's what matters. And I think it's awesome, again, to see all that you're doing. It's so inspirational, and I'm sure that you're going to keep doing those awesome things. And like, it's cool to see, for me, to see all the support that you have, and you mentioned the mentors that you have. It's really amazing. So as we wrap it up, I'm curious, where could people find you on the internet if they want to learn more about you and your awesome work, or about your projects? I'm guessing that there will be a lot of links that you want to like mention, and we'll link to them in the post itself.
Okay, so about my experiences, I like to share blog posts on Medium the most. I'm starting to being more active on LinkedIn as well, because I'm experimenting with some stuff there regarding my growth hacking status. So I'm active on LinkedIn. I'm active on Facebook as well. My favorite app for now, it's Instagram, all-time favorite. So yeah, you can find me on all those social platforms, like sharing things that I do in life. So for example, I will be sharing this week, I will be sharing some story for remote working, because I have started that initiative to motivate people here within our company, and also other people here in Macedonia to like try to implement remote work in their companies, because it will like pop up better productivity and everything. And also I was so inspired just thinking about this talk, so maybe I will be writing something about the conversation that we had here, and yeah, I will be linking that post with this interview that we are doing. So yeah.
Awesome. And I'm sure that I know that I'm sure on most channels you're just at Anita Kirkovska, and that's
Yes, I'm in Kirkovska. Yeah, on all the channels.
awesome. This has been a really great conversation, and I'm going to wrap it up and thank everyone who's watching and tuning in for joining us. And if you want to learn more about 180 Degrees of Impact, just visit www.lets.care, or check us out on social media on Twitter at Let's You Care, Facebook.com/Let's You Care. And until next time, keep impacting. Thanks again for joining us, Anita.
Thank you, Matt, for everything and for the invite.
Awesome.